We should try to clean him off, but don't touch his bandage. He's still bleeding. If we take it off, he might bleed to death," Fluttershy said, dipping the sponge into the warm water with her mouth. Applejack picked up the cloth and joined Fluttershy, cleaning him off. "We can't just clean up all him. We can't clean up him by the time Rainbow gets back. We can't clean up we can't clean up all him by the time Rainbow gets back with Dr. Man. Then we need to focus on the parts that sustained the worst injuries. His chest mostly, I think. He was positively filthy." Applejack refilled the bucket twice before Rainbow Dash brought Dr. Mend. The two arrived and entered without knocking. Dr. Mend was an older stallion, his pitch-black coat and his ice-white mane, his steel-gray eyes. He picked up the large and heavy bag. He came in with a trot, setting up the bag on the floor next to the couch. "Good grief!" he exclaimed, unzipping the bag. "Take this iodine and get to the sink, and scrub hard. Scrub every nook and every cranny, get every particle of dirt. And hurry it up. Go!" he said. The girls took the bottle and headed to the kitchen. They scrubbed furiously while Dr. Mann used a straight razor to shave a patch of hair from the patient's left foreleg. He assembled an IV bag of saline and hung it above his patient, then inserted the needle. Dr. Mann removed the several different tools and then set them for an easy reach. When the girls returned, he had seemed to take places all around to help. "Rainbow Dash, you'll help me cut away the clean and bandage the wounds. Take these scissors, alcohol, and cotton swabs." Then he turned to Applejack. "Stand right here and pass the tool when I need them. It's simple terms so I won't confuse you with the medical jargon." Finally, he focused on Fluttershy. I need you to stand to my left and use these gauze pads to apply pressure to stop bleeding where you see it." Then he addressed all three of them. "If any pony sees him bleeding too much from one place that I may have overlooked, let me know. Let's begin." Dr. Men decided to take the big wrap bandage first. "Dash, cut the blanket above where the blood is seeping through," Dr. Man indicated. Dash cut away the blanket bandage, and Dr. Man carefully pulled off the patient. "Fluttershy, apply pressure here," he said. He indicated the bleeding bump. Dr. Man paused and stared puzzled at the injury in front of him. "Looks like his bone is protruding," he said. He checked the ribs. "Badly bruised, but nothing broken. And the spine is intact," he mumbled, thinking. Suddenly his eyes bulged. "Luna and Celestia!" he breathed. "Applejack, pass me the bone saw," he said. Applejack handed over the frightening implement. She shot Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash a concerned look, and they had to perform a double take. There were tears glistening down Dash's eyes. Dr. Man carefully sawed off the jagged bone tip down to a smooth bump, and then stitched it to the surrounding flesh together. It took 5 bags of saline, 283 stitches, and many hours of work on each side of the wounded pony, but finally Dr. Man finished. "You can relax now," he said, lowering his forehoofs down to the ground finally. "Well done, every pony. Sit down and try to relax." He said to Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash. He turned to Applejack. "Make sure they sit down and they don't do anything except sit. I'll be right back," he said hurriedly. Applejack was puzzled. She turned to her friends. "Come on, y'all, take a load off," she said, sitting down on the floor. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy didn't move. They simply stood and stared now at the stitched and cared-for pony, oblivious to anything around them. Applejack stood up and carefully eased her two friends away from their guest and sat them down. Even sitting, they continued to stare at them. Applejack became frustrated. "What is wrong with y'all?" she asked out loudly. "They're in shock. Fluttershy held out better than I would have hoped," Dr. Men said, sitting down while checking Fluttershy over. Applejack was still confused. Why are they in shock, Doc?" she asked. Dr. Men lowered his head sadly. "That poor pony was a Pegasus," he said. Applejack didn't get it. "What? No, he ain't. He got no—" She trailed off as it hit her. She suddenly realized why Fluttershy and Dash were in shock. "Those bones," she whispered. "They were wing stubs." Dr. Men nodded silently. End of part 1.